you really practicing with that hour? Do you think you're practicing or are you just playing? If you feel that you play, and you still feel disconnected from the guitar, listen to this discussion. This is really a guitar discussion, and not wondering anymore, like, what am I missing? Because we say, well, I know a lot of theory, but it's like, well, can your fingers walk the walk? The best way to practice is to slice through that cake, that 4-layer cake, every single time you go to practice, when you're practicing something, anything. All right, welcome back to another episode of Guitar Fundamentals on StichMethod. Today, we're gonna have a discussion based off probably the most common question I get either emailed to me, messaged to me, or sent to me on my Patreon account, which is, how do I practice guitar? What kind of regiment should I do? How would I, if I had an hour to practice guitar, what should I do? And I'm really hesitant to always answer those questions because I feel like, and this might sound, I don't know, elitist, and it is not. It's not coming from that point of view, but I find that mindset is the wrong mindset, and I want to talk to you about that. A lot of people believe that when I'm putting the time into practice, that I'm getting something out of it, but it's kind of like the same thing. No, I'm not one to preach, like eating empty calories. So the idea is, are you really practicing with that hour? Do you think you're practicing or are you just playing? Are you playing things you're comfortable with, or are you breaking out of what you can do and trying to pursue something else? And so when I practice, when I've always practiced, I have a very different mentality to what and when and how to practice. And I want to go over that. If you feel that you play, and you still feel disconnected from the guitar, listen to this discussion. This is really a guitar discussion, not a lot of playing, and see if this helps out. So let's just start right at the beginning. Music involves 4 things, okay? And when you're playing guitar, you are a musician, all right? You are, because you're playing an instrument that makes music. And so you want to try and practice these things as if you're a musician. And we'll talk about some things in a couple seconds. But the 4 things are timing, technique, theory, and musicality. All right, that's what you have to understand. Everything is based on your timing. And so I want to talk about a couple things. You always hear that saying, timing is everything. And it is so true, especially when it comes to music. Whatever you're practicing, you have to always first think about your timing of it. Am I connected to the tempo? Am I connected to the drummer? All right. And so if you want to practice timing, then you have to understand you're not practicing timing for you to be on time with yourself. You are practicing connecting yourself to the rhythm section. Okay, when you are a guitar player, whether you are in the rhythm section or the lead section, you have to be bonded really well with that rhythm section. So I hate metronomes. I hate them. I love drum tracks. So the first thing you want to do, if you want to practice just timing, now this is going to be a long conversation. These things are going to stack up. But if you just want to practice timing, go find a really good drum backing track, one that has a kick drum and a snare and some cymbals, and listen to it. Pretend that they are playing with you and try to practice your timing, whether you're just practicing quarter notes with simple finger exercises, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. You're doing it with the drummer, okay? That's the most important thing. Now, I want to say this. If you just practice timing for your entire life, you will not be a musician, all right? This is one of the 4 things, all right? Timing is important, but it is the first step. It is the fundamental step. Understanding how rhythm works. I have plenty of videos on my Guitar Fundamentals playlist that goes over timing and rhythm. Check them out if you need help, all right? I'll do more of it, by the way, in future videos. The timing is the bottom of the pyramid. It's the foundation. So if you feel like your timing's off, guess what? Stop practicing Led Zeppelin. Don't really do that because they're great. But really just go for a minute, put on a drum track, see if you can connect, close your eyes and feel that drummer. It is so important. That's the baseline. Now let's go to the next one, okay? Technique. Technique is also super important. If you feel like you know a lot of stuff in guitar, but your technique is not there, well, guess what? You haven't practiced your practice sessions in order. Timing first, then technique. So say you put on that backing track of the drummer, and you're practicing your simple finger exercises, and you're going, well, my timing's on 1. But your technique is off. You have to practice your technique. Now, this is what I want to talk to you about. Only you should be able to tell if your technique is getting better. A lot of people are looking, and I understand it, they're looking for people from the outside to tell them, hey, your technique is good. But if you want to be a guitar player and you want to be a musician, you have to take a step back and say, okay, I am responsible. I'm responsible for my technique. All right, and what is good technique? Well, it's very simple. You're picking a note and you're playing it well. Make sure there's no fret buzz, right? Make sure everything rings nice and true. And there's plenty of videos, I'm sure, on YouTube, on my channel, and other YouTube channels that go over technique. But making sure that every note is crystal clear is your job. Whether you're practicing hammer-ons or pull-offs or slides, you have to kind of, close your eyes and feel it out. Search for it. Make it your own. All right, that is the most beautiful thing about playing guitar, is that when you have your own discovery, you did it. Oh man, I made that hammer-on sound so good. I didn't have to listen to 12 different YouTube teachers describing it to finally get it. I closed my eyes, I worked on it myself. Working on things yourself is how you get better, always. And so timing of things, important. Technique of things is you want to practice that with your timing, all right? So I'm going to talk about something in a second, but if you're practicing hammer-ons and pull-offs, you want to do in time with a drum beat. Boom, ba, boom, boom, ba. All right, you have to pay attention to the drummer. That was my foot tapping if you didn't hear it. So timing first, then technique. Now we're going to stop here. If you only want to play guitar to impress someone, right? I just want to be impressive. I just want to play songs for people. Nothing wrong with that. That's where we all start. We all want to play so that we, can be in a band and impress people. Then really all you need to be doing is practicing your timing and your technique. Because if you look up tabs and you look how to do songs, then you are a playing machine, right? You can play in time and you can practice your technique and you can pretty much cover any guitar riff that you listen to with just timing and technique. Now, say you want to go past that. Say you're practicing guitar because you want to create. You want to feel what it's like to be a musician. You want to understand why things are happening. Again, if you just are in a cover band and you just want to play and you say, I don't want to think about theory, timing and technique is what you want to be practicing all the time. But if that voice starts to say like, why did they make that riff up? How does that riff work? Or this chord progression? Well, now you have to break into the musician mindset. And this is really cool. The next level, theory. Now, I will tell you this, if you just study theory, and there are a lot of theory heads out there, I get it, then you're not going to be good at timing and you're not going to be good at technique. I have a lot of friends and students, and even myself a while ago, who said, well, I know a lot of theory, but it's like, well, can your fingers walk the walk? So if you do know a lot of theory, well, put that on hold for a second and practice your timing and technique so that your knowledge of timing and technique and theory match up and you start to become a better musician. Now, theory is important. And it's not going to save the day all the time, but it is going to give you a constant compass, a roadmap, a sense of security that you will understand how to figure things out. Understanding why a chord progression works. What is a key? I have a video right there. What is a key? What really is a key, right? What scales do I use? And the way you figure this out is two ways. You can either get lost in a YouTube rabbit hole for hours searching, or you can bring the knowledge and observation to you. Pick any song that you like. Heck, if you're one of those cover bands and you say, I want to break out of just playing and I want to understand what's going on, take a 1-second clip from your favorite song and try to understand what is happening. Okay, well, what do I mean by that? Well, look at the chord being played and then look at the riff on top of it. And it is that simple. You will have revelations when you say, wow, okay, there's an A chord here, and the riff is some sort of minor pentatonic, and there's your correlation. Well, he's playing an A major chord, he's playing an A minor pentatonic with this little thing in it. What is that? What is that? Okay, well, why the minor pentatonic? And you start thinking, okay, well, I have an A chord. Does that mean that every time I have an A chord, I have a minor pentatonic on top of it? I don't know. What is this? Oh, look, it's the major third. It's a piece of the chord. And you're not going to have revelations every time you think about theory, but I promise you, if you always compare the chord to what is happening at the moment, in weeks at a time, you will get these giant clusters of galaxies of theory coming your way. You're gonna say, oh my gosh, look, another one of my favorite songs has a C chord in it, and he's playing a minor pentatonic thing on top of it. Wow, that means I can pretty much do that. Let me try doing that on another moment and seeing if you can make that connection. Theory is about thinking about the chord and the scale at the same time. You can learn about chord progressions, you can learn about scale options. Heck, if this is intriguing you, really start watching any of my StichMethod videos, not just the guitar fundamental videos. I try to pack some theory in there that makes you understand what's happening at the moment. But theory is the breakthrough point, all right? And we have a lot to talk about. This is a long video. So now, if you study timing and technique and theory, you're gonna start to feel like a more comfortable guitar player. You're gonna start to play things that you would not have played. You might know a Led Zeppelin song completely, or a John Mayer song, or a Clapton song, or a Grateful Dead song, and you might actually take a risk, a calculated risk based on your on your theories and your mindset from studying theory, and you might prove yourself right and go, wow, that actually worked. And the more you do that, the more theory will come to you. Theory will not save your life. It really, really, really helps. But we need to get to the next thing, the next level, okay? And I'll talk about it in a second. So right now, if you want to be playing guitar just to impress people and be in a band, timing, technique, great. If you want to start being able to improvise a little bit and just feel a little bit more comfortable with how music works, again, because this is a musical instrument, get into the theory. The last thing you want to practice, and again, there's a big ending here, is musicality, all right? When you're looking at someone, if you're looking at a line, a guitar riff from anyone, take it being just this, like something like that. You want to identify, well, what was that? Okay, well that's an A minor pentatonic. But what did they do to make it musical? Well, they bent this note, then they took this note and slid it here instead of going here. So the line without that musicality, if you were just looking at the pentatonic, isn't the same as, and you want to look and see if you can identify a scale or a riff that you know and say, how did they make this musical? Is it just the scale form? Is it just this? Or is it, really, is it? Good job, Ian. All right, and so you're always looking for the musical aspect. Did they take a scale shape I know? Did they play it differently? Did they slide? Did they hammer on? Did they bend? What did they do to make it musical? All right, so now there's 4 things that I've gone over. Timing, technique, theory, and musicality. And the best way to practice is to slice through that cake, that 4-layer cake, every single time you go to practice. When you're practicing something, anything, say you really want to, learn, I'm just saying, a Zeppelin song or a Grateful Dead song. Well, practice your timing, practice your technique, practice seeing something, the theory, and seeing if you can make it musical. If you have a wholesome bit of musicality cake, of practice cake, you're going to feel more fulfilled and make a lot more progress. I know this is a very long video and you're probably wondering, how do I practice this stuff? Well, I always have practice sessions on my Patreon account and a Thursday video, which is a guitar fundamentals video, is always going to have practice videos. And so we'll be practicing how to practice timing, how to practice technique, how to practice looking at theory, how to practice looking at musicality, and not wondering anymore, like, what am I missing? Because those are the 4 things you always want to concentrate at one time in every moment you're playing. When I'm playing any song, really? Always gonna mess up. But when I'm looking at stuff, I'm saying, okay, well, I have my palm mute, right? There's my technique, my timing. 1, 2, boom, 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 boom. So I have timing set, boom. I have my technical set. I need a palm mute there. All right, theory. Well, what the heck is this thing? Man, I don't know what is this thing. Let me Google it. What, or something. Look, oh, it's a B Mixolydian scale. Okay, cool. They're making a riff from B Mixolydian scale. All right, cool. How'd they make it musical? I believe the real riff is, and it's that slide. music is, where the musicality is. And so you always want to write this down. Timing, technique, theory, musicality. And in every single thing you do, try to find it all. If you can't, well, you know what you need to work on. If you can, keep on going. Your brain loves receiving information that works, it will retain it. And so this lesson right here is about, if you're feeling lost and disconnected, you should practice with this mindset all at once if you can. You can come join me on Patreon where we can go over a little deeper how to focus on these things. I can't thank you enough for being here and watching. Share this video, make sure you subscribe, and we'll talk soon. Bye-bye.